Madison, a 7-year-old, fell into a coma following a car accident with her mother Gwen. Gwen claimed that the car malfunctioned, but suspicions arose that she may have intentionally caused the crash. However, when Madison awoke and spoke, the words she said surprised everyone present. "Don't worry, Mr. Robbins," Nurse Emma told Sam. "Children are resilient. I'm sure your little girl will wake up soon." Sam gazed anxiously at his daughter Madison, who had been hospitalized for the past 3 months. After Nurse Emma left the room, Sam's forehead creased as he raised his hand to his head. He left the room and sat in the waiting area. Despite being a father, he didn't want Madison to wake up. He couldn't help but wish for the worst for his daughter. It is important to note that this kind of thoughts and desires towards one's own child is not healthy and not normal. It is important to seek help if you have thoughts like this. But a few days later, Madison stirred in her bed and she stood up suddenly. "I know the truth about my mom," the little girl yelled. Sam's face paled and he considered running away, but a doctor and Nurse Emma heard the screams. 3 months ago, Sam's wife, Gwen, was cleaning his home office and thinking about her difficult pregnancy with Madison 7 years ago. The doctors told her to take it easy because she would go into labor unexpectedly. Despite being careful, the worst happened. She barely remembered anything from the birth, but when she woke, Sam was there by her side with a baby in his arms. He smiled at her warmly. It would be the last time he would smile at her. When they brought Madison home, Sam withdrew utterly. He spent extra hours at work and frequented bars. He told Gwen about his salary raise, but she never saw that money. Instead, Sam spent those extra dollars buying designer shoes, expensive perfumes, and prolonged business trips. It had been like that all this time, but Gwen had a nagging feeling in her gut. While fixing a leaking tap, she reached for the old toolbox in the kitchen cabinet. After opening it, she saw her husband's old phone, which he had replaced after Madison's birth. Gwen didn't like the idea of snooping around, but she had to do something. She plugged the phone and turned it on. A text thread from someone called Ophelia caught her attention. Gwen scrolled to the beginning and discovered she was Sam's boss's daughter who died years ago. "Oh my God, they had an affair," she exclaimed softly while reading. She also discovered that Ophelia got pregnant around the same time as Gwen. Sam asked her to get rid of the baby, but Ophelia refused. He seemed to break up with her afterward. "But this is strange," Gwen muttered when the text thread ended. Hoping to find the answers to her questions, Gwen snooped through her husband's home office. Inside one of the drawers of his desk were papers Sam had never shown her. She stopped at one that read, "Proof of death." It belonged to a baby girl Robbins. That's when everything clicked into place. Her daughter died during her difficult childbirth, and Sam had replaced her with Madison, Ophelia's daughter, who was born around the same time. Gwen started crying thinking about it. She also found Madison's actual birth certificate, which confirmed her suspicions. "I can't believe Sam gave me a fake certificate and lied all these years," Gwen sobbed inconsolably. But that was not the worst part. Snooping further into his old phone, she discovered that Sam was scum. His old boss had begged to see his granddaughter, but Sam refused. The man died later that year, as far as Gwen remembered. That means that he never got to meet his granddaughter, she realized. Gwen was shocked after fate revealed her husband's true face. It was hard for her to believe that her husband had hidden a dozen secrets from her all these years. As tears trickled down her cheeks, Gwen ran to Madison's room and woke her up. "We're running away from him right now," Gwen decided with conviction as she raised her hand to wipe the stream of tears on her cheeks. She quickly threw a couple of her dresses and some of her daughter's clothes into a bag and headed towards the door with Madison. "Mommy, where are we going?" Madison asked when she noticed the big bag in her mother's hand. "We're taking a little road trip, honey. Just us girls. It's going to be super fun." Gwen faked cheerfulness for her daughter. She helped Madison get into the car while holding an umbrella to shield herself from the heavy raindrops. Gwen slowly drove on the wet roads while trying to get away from her husband. As she thought about all the lies he had told her in the past, she unknowingly rested her foot on the gas pedal and crashed her car into a tree. The next thing she knew, she was being wheeled through the hospital. "My daughter! Where's my daughter?" She yelled at the people around her, but no one answered. Back in the present, after hearing Madison's screams, the doctors rushed into the room, but the little girl wouldn't calm down. "My mom, "Where's Mommy?" She continued yelling while the staff checked her vitals. Her father spoke. "Madison, calm down. They need to check you out," Sam said, trying to remain calm. "No, I heard you. I heard you. Mommy is not evil. Mommy protected me. She hugged me upside down. It was cold." She said. "Everything will be all right," Madison cried. Nurse Emma was shocked after hearing what Madison said. She looked at Sam, who had turned towards the door, and recalled what had happened when the police talked to him after Gwen and Madison's accident. "I know Gwen crashed her car on purpose," Sam told the police officer. "She wanted to kidnap Madison because she had just learned the little girl was another woman's daughter. Gwen intended to hurt my innocent daughter, officer." When Gwen woke up a few days after the accident, the police officers didn't allow her to see Madison. Instead, they arrested her because they believed Sam had told the truth. But now that Nurse Emma heard the little girl screaming for her mommy, she knew the truth. This man is evil. On calling the police, she thought and exited the room when Madison calmed down. She asked for the same officer who came 3 months ago. "Where's Mr. Robbins?" The officer asked Nurse Emma after talking to the little girl. They couldn't exactly take Madison's testimony as fact, but it painted a different picture than what Sam explained after the accident. "He was sitting right here in the waiting area when I called you, officer," Nurse Emma said and pointed towards the last seat in the corridor. "Oh no, did he hear me talk to you on the phone?" "That's a possibility. He might have used the back door to escape. Let me look at the security camera footage before I send my team to search for him," the officer said. I guess his wife was telling the truth all along. A few hours later, Gwen was released from her home arrest, which her lawyer had negotiated as there wasn't enough evidence of malicious intent on her part. She ran to the hospital and hugged Madison tightly. "Mommy," Madison whimpered. "Don't worry, baby. I'm never letting you out of my sight again, and nothing will keep us apart," Gwen promised. Sam attempted to conceal any proof of his actions following the accident when he realized his wife had uncovered the truth, but he was unable to locate his old phone. He scoured the entire house, but it was nowhere to be found, leading him to believe he may have lost it. Unbeknownst to him, Gwen had taken the phone with her. The police initially accepted Sam's account of events due to his reputation as a successful businessman. Without any evidence to contradict him, they believed Gwen was responsible for the accident. However, Gwen later approached the police with evidence, handing over Sam's phone. The police accepted it as evidence and arrested Sam a few days after he was discharged from the hospital. Gwen and Madison decided to take a trip together, helping them to recover and enabling Madison to understand the importance of relationships.